Like I said, if y'all know what a fuel water pump replacement costs, leave me a comment down below. I can imagine this going a couple $100. Well, howdy folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be changing the water pump on this 2000 Chevrolet with a 4.8 V8. This is pretty much the same for a 5.3 and a 6.0. So anyway, let's get to it. First, we want to get off our breather hose there, and you can do that with, should have had my tool ready. You can do that with, I think that's a 5/16. Let me find it real quick. I should have had all this done prior. Right there. And you're just going to loosen the, wrong size drive, wrong size drive. Okay, there we go, 1/4 inch drive, 5/16. Loosen it up a little bit. Now this one here, at least on my pickup, is a bear to get loose if you take it off right here, but that's where I prefer to do it. So some people will take this one loose, but I'm gonna have this loose once today because I had to. They keep telling me there are several different water pumps for this. They keep telling me that you have to know the size of your thermostat, and so I had to take this off, pull my thermostat housing, measure that, take it back. Well, I replaced this 3 or 4 years ago, this water pump. First one lasted 17 years from the factory. Don't get me started about aftermarket parts, and I try to buy good aftermarket parts, and it always seems that they only last a few years. So anyway, got this loose. Come on, get out there. That's loose. And we'll come over here, this off the breather box. Okay, had to use 2 hands to get this off. So we're going to pull this out. Easier said than done. Okay, I'm going to set it over here, out of our way. I'll go ahead and pull the boot off, and I'm going to put it someplace where I don't. Right there. Now, got that off. A couple of other things we're going to need off is the shroud, and this can be a booger. You got some shroud pins here and here on each side. There's 4 of them, and you're going to have to take your screws out here. So I lost this one years ago. You're going to take this out, these out, and then your shroud should be, you can get it out. And these shroud pins can be a pain to get out if they're old like this. These are. Oops. I'll show you one. Okay, this is how they work. They go down through there, through both pieces of the shroud, and then theoretically, if they're not old, they're new and they work good, this little pin goes down and will expand the sides, you know, through the housing, and that's what holds it. But when it gets old, these pins don't want to pull out, and you usually break them off. So anyway, we got that one off. Like I said, I had this part earlier to pull my thermostat housing to see what size thermostat, and as it turned out, didn't need it anyway, size anyway. Some of these thermostat housings will come with the thermostat already built in them. You need to know that, whether yours does or not. I'll pull this pin over here. I'll try to again. And as usual, it doesn't want to come out. When I take the core for the water heater back, I'm going to get new, come on out of there. What I'm using is a screwdriver to pry this out. So when I take the core back, I'm I'm going to get new clips for this. Start fighting these old ones. And if they don't want to come out, you got to force them. Like I said, you're going to take your upper heater hose off, or radiator hose off. Not the heater hose, this is not the heater hose. There we go. Got to get it broke free. Which still doesn't mean it will come off easily. Sometimes it just needs a little help. There she goes. We'll lay that to the side. And then we're going to pull her after we take it loose. After we take it loose. What is the chances of that being the same size? Nope. That is, I'm going to find my, let's see, maybe it's that. I used to know what size they were. But good golly, Miss Molly. One's too big, one's too small. Let's see. Well, we're going to dance all the way around that one. There we go. That would be a 10 millimeter. Of course it'd be 10 millimeter. Why did I know that? Our friend the 10 millimeter. And you got to have your ratchet going that way. Don't do like I did years ago and lose this bolt. Have to have the shroud on. The old 350 Chevys, you didn't need the shroud on them. Well, you did, but we always took ours off. It just was cool. Okie dokie. Okay, now to get this fan off, you'll need a crescent wrench or a pipe wrench. Or the right size wrench, which I don't know. I've got a 15/16 and it's much bigger than 15/16. So what I do, because you'll need something to hold this, I'll take a C-clamp. Now remember, I'm going to replace this belt, so I'm not real worried about damaging this belt. But I'm going to go, this pulley, I'm going to clamp this belt down to the pulley. And that should prevent this thing from turning when I'm, I'll have to find a cheater. Usually these things are usually pretty doggone tight. Okay, we'll bring you over here and show you what I got. Okay, as you can see, I took the C-clamp and clamped that belt to the pulley. Now I've got to find me a get my pipe wrench. I'm going to use a pipe wrench. We're going to go on this nut right here, and I'll need a cheater someplace. So I'll be right back. Okay, now take your wrench, put on this nut. Let's see if we can get lucky and just get her loose first time. I need a little bit more. Okay, because some of these are really tight. Probably not. We're going to give her a good try anyway. Get it all down and pull straight. Oh, look at that. Woohoo! Yeah, I'll take that any day. And once you get it loose, just go ahead and spin her on off. Yes, sir. Give that man a cigar. Come on, man. Yes, sir, man. You just don't usually get that lucky. Okay, I'm going to take our clamp loose. Yes, sir. Man, I'm just ecstatic about that. And, you know, if you're real worried about damaging that belt, you probably should either use a piece of wood or a piece of rubber between that, because this has a metal foot on it. And Oh, need rubber something. So now I'm going to take our 15mm wrench, socket or whatever. I'm going to take the serpentine belt off. I always like to, come on now, get started over here at the alternator. And come on out of there. Come on. You're done. You're done. You've been a good trooper. See, I don't know if y'all can see this. Oh, rubber's starting to crack and everything. Now, it's probably still last another year or so, but why, I mean, I think this is 20 or 25 bucks. Why risk it for 20 or 25 bucks? Just go ahead and replace it. Use it to whoop your kids with. No, I know, I just triggered somebody. Okay, I'm going to put the 15mm back up because we're going to need it again. Like right now, because I believe tensioner assembly is 15mm. Yes, it is. I'm going to use my little short extension there. Going to get it going the right way. Come on. There's 3 of these that hold this assembly on right here. Not sure if you can see it. Let's see. Yeah. Now once again, I do not have a torque wrench. Probably should buy one. I think these are only like 10 or 11 foot-pounds, so that's not a whole lot when you go back with it. That's usually a good snug. Now you do want, when you're working on an engine, make sure the bolts go back where they came from. If you can, or at least I like to leave them in the assembly until I get it all out. And make sure, yep, the shorter bolt, the shorter one goes on bottom. Set this to the side. The lower radiator hose and the 2 heater hoses. Now I don't know if it really makes a difference the way the heater hoses go back on. You still want to make sure that, come on, get over there. Get on, yeah, get on off of there. You still want to make sure they go on the way they are. Single hose goes in the back. At least that's the way this one is. Y hose is in the front. Okay. Okay. Gotta find my 10mm again. Oh, freaky. Thought I'd left it out. There it is. Okay. I think there's 6 anyway. I've slept since the last time I did this, and again, that's what irritates me, is having to do this again. It's a short 3 or 4 years. This time I bought a remanufactured one from Napa with a lifetime warranty, and I'm going to make sure. There's number 5 there. Ooh. Make sure I say this paper now, which I say that every time I buy them brakes with pads with lifetime warranty. I'm going to save these. I can't tell you what I've done with any of them. Okay. Don't have to, but I'm going to do this to show y'all. This is the thermostat housing. Now some of these come like your regular old thermostat, where you have the housing and thermostat separate. This one These are fairly short. This one has the thermostat and housing is one piece. First time I've ever seen that. Well, except for the last time I did this. There again, I didn't need to buy a new thermostat and housing, but I'm, you know, proactive. Try to save myself more work in the future. But I did buy, come on now, don't make me go postal on you. I did buy a new thermostat and housing. So this one was still fine. I'll probably put it up in case of emergency or something one day. I might have to use it. So, but you're already here working on it. It's like 20 bucks more. Go ahead and get you a new one while you're at it. Okay, now let's get this old pump out. Oops, take it. Finish taking that now. All these bolts on this one are the same size, so we're good. And there we go. There's our old one. Woo! I don't know what the deal was, but it was leaking. Okay, let me get the new one. I'll be right back. Okay. Now, we've cleaned our faces up where the old gaskets were. These new ones are fiber gaskets. The old ones were metal. The old ones, if I remember right, this old pump was a Gates, and that's another thing. Wondering why it only lasted 3 years. But anyway, I'm gonna get a couple bolts in the water pump to hold the gaskets line where they're supposed to. That way I don't have to fight trying to get them. And we're just going to slip it back up there. Nope. And if we did everything right, we should get a few threads started on there. Like I said, I believe the torques on this is like 10 or 11 pounds. Doesn't take much. Yeah, like I said, not a really involved job, but sure save yourself some money. And if you've never done this, I'd say it'd probably take you at least an hour. If you've done it once or twice, or you're mechanically inclined, got a little help, 30-45 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay, now that you got your bolts all tightened up, you always want to go back and make sure they're all tight. If you're using torque wrench, that's good enough. If you're not, every time a bell rings, the angel gets its wings. Look at me, I'm handing out wings. Love that movie. Okay, now got those on. Let's get our heater hoses back. Yeah, heater hose and radiator hose. So there you go. Hope y'all can see this. It's getting late because I had to stop about an hour and charge the battery on my phone, not the truck. Okay. Okay, get on up there, clamp. These spring clamps are great, but sometimes they can be a pain in the butt. There we go. Not too far now. Okay. Okay. Since I'm doing all this, and I don't want to have, take a chance and, a month from now, I have to do it all again. It's worth, I think this is $21, $22. It's worth $21, $22 to just go ahead and put a new one on. Let me get the bolts. I'll get you on where you go here in just a minute, Mr. Lower Radiator Hose. Okay, now this is, I think that's a 10mm tube. Okay, though, I did teenager years, early 20s, had a couple 70 model Chevrolets with 350s in them, and even early 80s. I'd much rather work on those than these. Everything is simple to get to. This thing here, right here, you take the breather hose off, it won't even run. You know, we used to take our breather caps off, turn them upside down. Man, we were bad hombres then, man. Okay. Again, I think this is 10 or 11 pounds torque, whatever. I couldn't really tell you. Now we'll put the lower radiator hose on. I think I got two O-rings for the thermostat. Oh yeah, back on. It's a good. That's the thing about old hoses. A lot of times they will go back on a lot easier. But okay. Woo! Okay, we got our hoses on. Remember, the short bolt on the tensioner goes on bottom. And these are 15s, I believe. Where's that one at? Gotta find that one. There she is. Okay. You're going to tighten these up, and then we're going to put the belt on. Okay, now we got our idler pulley, our tensioner pulley, on there. Now we're going to get the belt on there. Okay. Double check everything. Looks good. The only bad thing about these, they're usually a lot. There we go. Hey, all right. Looks good. Let's grab that fat. This baby is sure want to make sure you don't cross thread this thing. In a world of hurt if you do. You buy a new water pump or new fan clutch. Okay. Okay. Good. Come on. Personally, I don't think those things need to be tightened up a whole bunch. I think that is pretty tight. So I'm not even going to put the C-clamp back on it. Now, of course, if it's something that happens, it blows up, and you'll never see it. We're going to get our little 10mm. This is a 10mm bolt. So there's another on the other side, but it's gone. So I need to have it replaced. I don't know if I can find somebody. Go right there. And we're just going to put that baby in there. Find a hole. There we go. Now let's put our radiator hose on. Upper radiator hose. What'd I do with it? Okay, y'all, what'd I do with it? Oh, there it is. I've been snake and bitten. Come on, get on there. Make sure it's on. Nope, it's not. Backwards. That's better. Okay. These things is hell to get back on. I say they're great. They can be a pain in the butt to get back on sometimes, especially a new hose. Okay, now let's get our breather assembly in there. Put this boot on first. Running out of daylight here. See what I do to myself, trying to get the video made for y'all. I sacrifice my daylight. That's okay. And we're going to get this on right breather box. And that's the one that's usually a pain in the butt. Usually goes on a lot easier than it came off. Usually. And we're going to get this on. Excuse me, sorry, hitting y'all. Come on now. There we go. And make sure it's up in that boot. Okay. The old trusty 5/16 nut driver. And that, folks, is it. Now, let's see if she'll start up and run. Well, hold on, need to put some coolant in it. Okay, before we do anything else, we're going to put some coolant in there. Orange dexcool. Let's see if we can do this with a fading light. There we go. Going to be some air in the lines, so I'll leave this cap off while this engine warms up. Now this water pump was remanufactured, I believe. Yeah, it's remanufactured. It was $70. The thermostat and the housing was $21, $22. Serpentine belt, I don't know how much that was. It was, hold on. Serpentine belt was 25, 30 someplace, I don't know. Antifreeze, 2 gallons of antifreeze and everything. Water pump, coming looking around right at 200. Okay, you can see it. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more, but that's it. Let it warm, let it run till it's just getting warm now. The thermostat hadn't, it's not all the way up to temp, so thermostat hadn't opened, but just let it idle until it does, or drive it around the block. Check your coolant level again. And that's how you change a water pump on a GM water pump on a 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0 Chevrolet GMC. So anyway, hey, Donald Blue Collar DUI. Like and subscribe, guys. Appreciate it. Catch you on the next video.